Whenever I post any content about cruise ship travel, I will inevitably get some form of the question, I'm about to go on my first cruise. What is it that I need to know before I go? And there's a lot of things that a lot of people will tell you. I am going to count down the top 5 things I wish I had known before I went on my first cruise. My name is Tamara Hancock. I'm a former high school English teacher, and I am now on a mission to explore and experience literally everything. Today is Travel Tuesday, so let's get into it. As somebody who travels by cruise ship, I am actually fairly new to the cruise industry. Believe it or not, my first cruise was actually in July of 2022. Since then, my husband and I have taken 6 different cruises, and we have a few more scheduled and booked for the future. But there were several things that I didn't know, and I didn't know what to expect before I got on my first cruise ship. I had so many questions and concerns about things like, what about the food is included? What about drinks? When can I access those? What about the entertainment on board? Or when we get off the ship, what do I need to have with me? Do I have to carry my passport everywhere I go? I had so many questions and not a whole lot of answers. So these are the questions that I specifically had that I couldn't necessarily find concrete answers to. Now, I'm going to preface this by letting you know this is in my own experience, right? These are things that I experienced that I feel like would have been good to know. And some of these are going to vary by cruise line, but overall, the top 5 things that I needed to know or wish I had known and couldn't find on the internet, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video today. So let's get started with that. The very first thing I would suggest to anybody who's about to go on a cruise for the first time is download the app for your cruise line. I know that we all have tons and tons of apps on our phones, but the app for the cruise line is going to be extremely helpful in helping you find out information about your personal sailing. It's going to show you different nights where it comes to formal nights or themed nights. All of that is going to be located in your app, so that can help you pack ahead of time if you want to participate in those activities. The other thing the app is going to be really helpful for is right now you can see on the screen, I have the Royal Caribbean app on my phone. I do not currently, sadly, have a cruise booked, but I can still go in and find information about different Royal Caribbean specific ports, different things that are happening in Royal Caribbean as far as their news goes, and I can do some research as far as things that are acceptable on cruise ships and are not acceptable on cruise ships. These things are updating all the time, so the place that you're going to find the most up-to-date information is going to be from the cruise line themselves on their app. So things like extension cords and different places that you can plug in different items like extension strips or whatever it is, power strips, excuse me, those things are no longer allowed on ships. And that information was pressed out to their app before it was pressed anywhere else. I would make sure that you're getting information directly from the cruise line. Don't go into a forum or into sort of like the sailing Facebook page or whatever. Any one of those things that you find, you'll look and you'll read the comments, and the comments are going to contradict each other. So go directly to the cruise line themselves, and the best place you're going to find that is in the app. As a first-time cruiser, I would also go onto Facebook and find a Facebook group for your sailing in particular. These are all over. You'll see that they're listed by the cruise line and then the date of your sailings. This is a lot of fun, especially if you're going on, for instance, a Disney cruise, and you can find out if there's going to be fish extender groups that you can be a part of, or maybe there's going to be a meetup on the cruise ship for teachers, and you can find out about that information where you're all going to be going and meeting up and maybe getting to know each other. Going on to your sailing specific Facebook group will also help you to maybe meet people before you go on the ship, so that you can maybe find out if there's people that have the same interests. You can go do a mini golf tournament with them or whatever. One thing that the Facebook specific sailing groups have done for me and my husband has helped us to locate people who, for instance, play volleyball or basketball, who may want to be part of a tournament on the ship, and then you can start to get to know each other and start setting up those teams before you sail. Another thing I would highly suggest for first-time cruisers is to go onto YouTube and find a ship walkthrough and a room walkthrough for your specific ship and for your specific room type. They are all out there. In fact, I have a couple linked here for Carnival Celebration and Mariner of the Seas. Both of these things were really helpful for me in knowing what room I would have on my ship, where I would be able to put things, where things are located on the ship, I'm kind of a really nervous Nelly, or worst case scenario Sally. So when I get on the ship, after I've done all of these different walkthroughs and, ship tours and whatever, I felt comfortable knowing that I knew where I was on the ship and that I could find what I needed to find. Also, doing a room tour in your room category, you may not be able to find your specific room, although I will tell you that a lot of them are out there, is going to give you an idea of where you'll be able to have places to put your luggage, what types of things you'll need to stay organized on the ship, and whatever that is. A lot of people will suggest that you bring additional storage things or additional organization things. The only thing I bring when I sail is this shoe organizer that I do hang on the wall in my cabin. I don't hang it on my door, but I hang it on the wall with really heavy duty magnets. And the reason I do that is because I've been on a few sailings where the seas were rocky and I had things fall off the countertop in the bathroom. So keeping it in the shoe organizer for me is a really, really great way to sail. But going through and doing these tours, ship tours and room tours, is going to give you a better idea of what to expect once you are on board. Embarkation and debarkation, what to expect there. Now, getting on the ship is actually a fairly simple and easy process. You go in, you're scanned by security, they look at your travel documents, they scan all of your stuff through like airport security scanners, all of that, and then you are just ushered on board through the gangway. Embarkation is always really exciting. It's an exciting experience. I was pretty nervous going through embarkation the first time, but again, if you've ever gone through an airport embarkation, it's basically the exact same process. When you book your embarkation time in the app, make sure that you're showing up approximately in that window. One thing that I will tell you that was kind of a tip for us on Royal Caribbean, and again, this has just been in my experience, that if we choose Royal Caribbean as our transport from the airport to the cruise port, even though our embarkation time was later in the day, we were still able to get on the ship early because that's when our transport arrived. We didn't really have any other choice, so they actually let us on the ship early. The embarkation process is extremely streamlined. Everything moves pretty smoothly, at least in my experience. As far as debarkation goes, though, when you get back to port, your ship is generally going to arrive around 6 o'clock in the morning, which means if you've booked a flight at 8 or 9 p.m., make sure you have something to do. Your luggage is going to have to be with you through all of that time. There are a few airports like Miami International that you can actually pay a storage fee and they will store your luggage until you come back and then check in for your flight. That storage fee varies by airport. I think at Miami International, it was like $50 a day or something along those lines. So if you're not going to be at the airport the whole time and you don't want your luggage to be with you the whole time while you're traveling the city or whatever it is, make sure that you look into those storage fees. That's going to be a possibility for you sometimes. The other thing that I found is that we do actually book our flights a little bit early in the afternoon, probably 2 or 3 to go home, just because, again, we're exiting the ship at 6 to 8 a.m. and then get to the airport around 10. That only gives us a few hours to sit and wait for our flight. Most flights in the United States, most domestic flights will not let you check in unless it is 4 hours to departure time. So just keep that in mind as well. If you're going to get to the airport 8 hours before your flight, you're going to have to try to find something to do before security, before you can check in, because they will not let you check in until 4 hours to your flight, which means you'll still won't be able to check in your luggage and all of those things. But a good rule of thumb, around noon, 1 or 2. And then, of course, if anything unforeseen happens where you're going to be docking late, you can usually travel, figure out a way to change your flight or change your itinerary. Sometimes the cruise ships will help compensate you for that change fee if the arrival back to port is unexpected. It is late. It's not something that was on you or your fault. So again, embarkation and debarkation, don't worry too much about embarkation. It's just like going through airport security, not a big deal. Just make sure you have your travel documents in order. You've already scanned your face in the app or done whatever it is that you need to do. But debarkation, again, remember, it's going to be super early in the morning. So booking your flights coming home, you're not going to necessarily want those late in the evening unless you have a plan to store your luggage or to have something to do in the city before you leave. The last thing I want to talk about for first-time cruisers is travel documents. Now, if you are traveling on a closed-loop sailing, meaning that you are coming from the United States and you're ending in the United States, Several cruise lines will allow you to travel with just your birth certificate, which is super, super, convenient and helpful. I would caution against that, and here is why. If you are going on a sailing that is international, for instance, you are going to the Bahamas or Haiti or the Dominican Republic or even over to Europe or any of those places, when you get off the ship, your passport is going to be your best form of identification, especially if you get left behind. If you get left behind and you are stuck in a foreign country and you do not have your internationally recognized passport, things are going to be very, very difficult for you as you're trying to get from your port of call to the next port of call or even home. So having a passport is going to be the best, in my opinion, way to travel with that. The second part of that, though, is when you remove yourself from the ship to go on an excursion or whatever it is, do you take your travel documents with you? And I would tell you that my husband and I, we do. We take our travel documents with us. If we're going to be going on an excursion that involves water or we're on another boat somewhere that they might get wet, we put them in a Ziploc bag, make sure that they're nice sealed up, and then they're nicely stored in a very secure compartment. The only reason we do that, again, is because if for whatever reason we were to miss the ship coming back, we want to make sure we have our documents with us. You can make copies of your documents, and that would also work to have with you on your person when you're traveling. You'll have your SeaPass card from the ship itself, which, serves as your identification to get on and off the ship, get on and off board when you leave for excursions or whatever it is. But your documents, your travel documents, are going to be extremely helpful, again, in that rare circumstance that you do get left behind. I would, again, caution, ensure that you have your passport, your actual passport, and don't travel with a birth certificate. It just makes things so much easier. These are all things that I wish I had known as a first-time cruiser. I watched a ton of videos that were ship tours and a ton of information about the cruise line itself, and all of that stuff is readily available. But these are things that I have just found through my own experience that whenever anybody asks me, what are things that I need to know? I'm going to go on my first cruise. What's something that I need to know? These are the things that I tell them, right? And when you do go on your first cruise, you're going to find that some of these things will work for you. Some of these things are not as important to you. But for me, in my experience and in our travels, these things have made our sailing extremely just streamlined and not complicated at all. If you have any other questions about traveling or cruise travel or whatever it is, I am so happy to help you with that. And just leave it in the comments and I will try to make another video on an upcoming Travel Tuesday. Again, my name is Tamara Hancock. I am a former high school English teacher and I am on a mission to explore and experience everything that I can. So this is Travel Tuesday. Every Tuesday we'll be talking about something as it pertains to travel. So make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to ensure that you will be apprised of when another Travel Tuesday video is posted. And then if you have travel tips or questions that you would like me to address, please put them in the comments and we'll make sure that we get those in an upcoming video. Happy travels.